Titanic. It's got to be one of the most famous movies ever made, right? A story of forbidden love set against, well, one of the biggest disasters in history. So today, we're going to break down James Cameron's masterpiece and really get to the heart of it all. A powerful story about a single promise that lasted a lifetime. Yeah, that's really the big question, isn't it? Because Titanic is so much more than just a disaster movie. It's a deeply human drama that decades later still gets to us. So let's explore what makes it so, well, so unforgettable. Okay, so let's set the scene. The year is 1912. We're on board the RMS Titanic. And you have to understand, this was not just a ship. No. This was a floating palace. The biggest, most luxurious thing afloat on its very first voyage. It was the shining symbol of progress, of luxury, and, yeah, a symbol of what many people tragically believed was invincibility. And it's on this ship that two completely different worlds are about to collide. I mean, literally collide. Up in first class, you've got Rose. She's just suffocating under all that wealth and expectation. And then, way down in steerage, you've got Jack, a penniless artist who has nothing but his sketchbook and a ticket that he won in a lucky hand of poker. I mean, come on, they could not be more different. So how do these two even meet? Well, it's in a moment of pure desperation. Rose, feeling trapped by her whole life, climbs over the stern of the ship. And just then, Jack is there, and he doesn't just, pull her back. He talks to her. He offers her a glimpse of a different way to live. And in that one single moment, everything changes. And that one single moment, well, it sparks one of the most famous love stories in movie history. But this is more than just a romance. This is an act of total rebellion against the rigid, unbending social rules that basically ran their entire world. And boy, does their connection deepen fast. First, Jack just opens her eyes to freedom, the energy down on the third-class decks, art, just being spontaneous. And that quickly becomes something really serious, which forces Rose to make this huge, defiant choice, rejecting her fiancé and the whole life that he represents, for Jack. This is what makes their connection so powerful. Jack doesn't just offer her love, he offers her freedom. For the very first time in her life, she can actually see a future she gets to choose for herself, one that isn't defined by her family or her money. He unlocks a part of her she never even knew was there. And just as their love story hits this incredible peak, the world around them literally starts to fall apart. The whole tone just shifts on a dime, from this sweeping romance to a desperate, desperate fight for survival. And this is the moment. April 14th, 1912. A calm, moonless night. And then, a single catastrophic event changes absolutely everything. The unsinkable ship has met its match. The dream voyage is now officially a nightmare. What's so shocking is how fast it all happens. I mean, it takes less than 3 hours for this marvel of engineering to just disappear. Just 25 minutes after hitting the iceberg, chaos breaks out as the crew realizes the damage is fatal. And by 12:45 a.m., that horrifying reality starts to sink in for everyone else. There aren't enough lifeboats. Amidst all the chaos of the sinking, the story shifts again. It's no longer just about survival. It's about sacrifice. This is where their love is tested in the most extreme way imaginable, and where a single promise becomes a legacy. This moment, it's everything. Jack completely selflessly gets Rose to safety on a lifeboat. But she can't do it. She looks at him, and she just can't leave him. So in this ultimate act of love, she jumps back onto the sinking ship to face whatever comes together. After the ship goes down, they manage to find a floating piece of wreckage, but there's only room for one person. And without a moment of hesitation, Jack puts Rose on top of it, sacrificing himself to the freezing water so that she might just have a chance to live. And this is the promise that defines the entire rest of her life. As Jack is dying, he makes her swear to him. He says, "You must promise me that you'll survive, that you will never give up." He makes her promise to grow old and live the full, free life they had dreamed of. And it's a promise she keeps for him. And it's here that we finally understand the film's true structure. See, this whole epic story we've just seen, it's a memory. It's being told 84 years later by an elderly Rose to a crew of treasure hunters. It's the first time she's ever told anyone the full story of what happened with Jack. And then we find out she's had the legendary heart of the ocean this whole time. In a final, private moment, she goes to the stern of the research vessel over the wreck site, and she just lets it fall into the sea. It's not for the treasure hunters. It's her final goodbye to Jack, her final act of letting go.
So we kind of end where we began, with a question. The story of Titanic is a tragedy. Of course it is. But it's also this incredible testament to the power of a promise. It shows us how just a few stolen days of love and one final, selfless act could give a person the strength to live a full and meaningful life for two.